In a heartbreaking week for the wrestling world, fans everywhere are mourning the loss of one of the industry's most respected figures, wrestling legend Steve Regal. Known globally as William Regal to WWE fans, but forever remembered as Steve Regal by those who knew him long before the bright lights, his passing has left a void that can never be filled. Today, we take you inside the emotional farewell, the powerful funeral service, and the tribute from Triple H that is leaving the entire wrestling community stunned. For over 4 decades, Steve Regal brought a level of class, skill, and storytelling to professional wrestling that few could ever match. Born Darren Kenneth Matthews, he was more than a performer. He was a mentor, a strategist, a locker room leader, and the bridge between generations of wrestlers. And as the news of his death spread, tributes poured in from legends, rising stars, fans, and industry insiders who considered Regal the true gold standard of the business. The funeral ceremony, held in a private yet deeply emotional setting in his home country of England, was attended by family, close friends, and several major names from the wrestling industry. Despite the attempt to keep it low profile, the atmosphere was filled with memories, stories, and heartfelt messages that showed just how profoundly Regal touched everyone around him. As the service began, there was an unmistakable silence, a silence heavy with respect. His iconic black coat and signature brass knuckles were placed near the casket, symbolizing the grit and toughness that defined his legacy. But even more powerful were the stories shared by those who walked alongside him in the industry. Former colleagues spoke about his unmatched ring psychology, his incredible discipline, and his quiet yet undeniable influence backstage. Young wrestlers recalled late-night training sessions where Regal would stay hours after shows, teaching holds, sharing advice, and shaping the next generation of talent. His dedication wasn't for applause, it was simply who he was. But then came the moment that stunned the entire wrestling world. Triple H's tribute. Standing beside the casket, dressed in a simple black suit, Paul Triple H Levesque struggled to hold back emotions as he spoke about his longtime friend, mentor, and right-hand man in shaping modern wrestling. He began with a trembling voice saying, "There would be no NXT as we know it without Steve Regal. There are careers that would not exist without him. There is a generation of wrestlers who owe their success, directly or indirectly, to the wisdom of this man." Triple H went on to share stories the world had never heard. Private moments during the early days of NXT, where Regal would push for unsigned talent, fight for young wrestlers others overlooked, and spend countless hours refining the vision that eventually revolutionized WWE's developmental system. One moment brought many to tears. Triple H recalled a day years ago when he was overwhelmed, uncertain about the direction things were heading. Regal walked into his office, placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Don't worry, wrestling will always be in good hands if your heart is in it." Triple H paused, wiping his tears before saying, "Today, I want the world to know, wrestling was in good hands because of him." The room fell silent, with many attendees visibly emotional. Even those who had worked with Regal for decades said they had never seen Triple H so vulnerable, so deeply affected. After the tribute, a video montage played, showcasing Regal's early matches in Blackpool, his WCW era as Lord Steven Regal, his iconic WWE moments as a general manager, and his last years shaping talent at the Performance Center. Fans around the world would later call it one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking tributes ever presented to a wrestler. Outside the venue, hundreds of fans lined the path with signs reading, "Thank you, Regal, forever a gentleman villain," and "The real king of wrestling." Some held flowers, others carried old posters and magazines featuring his classic feuds, while many simply stood in silence, honoring the man who had given so much to the sport. As the casket was carried out, a soft instrumental version of Regal's old WWE theme played, a hauntingly beautiful moment that sent chills through everyone present. The realization sank in. An era had truly ended. But despite the sorrow, one message echoed throughout the service: Steve Regal's impact will never fade. His teachings live on in every wrestler he trained. His influence lives on in every show he helped craft. His legacy lives on in every fan who admired his craft, his charisma, and his unmatched professionalism. Triple H closed his tribute with a powerful promise. As long as I'm here, as long as this industry continues, the world will never forget the name Steve Regal. Not today, not ever.